Hi all my students of Standard 9. Let's continue with our module on The Boy Who Broke the Bank by Ruskin Bond. From my previous module, I think we left the husband and wife fighting. Okay, so we'll continue from after the fight. Don't start grumbling. The heat is trying enough. I don't know what's happening to people, Nagar. Even the bank is about to go bankrupt. What's that? Said Kamal Kishore, sitting up suddenly. Which bank? Why, the People Nagar Bank, of course. I hear they have stopped paying their employees. Don't tell me you have an account there, Mr. Kishore. No, but my neighbor has, he exclaimed, and he called out over the low partition to the keeper of the barber shop next door. Deep Chand, have you heard the latest? The People Nagar Bank is about to collapse. You'd better get your money out as soon as you can. So now he's not worried for himself. He is worried about Deep Chand, who is a barber next to him, and he's saying that I don't have an account in People Nagar Bank, but my neighbor has got. So now this entire society is so closely knit that they are working next to each other, and there is a low partition between the two of them. So he just puts the partition down and he talks to his neighbor that the People Nagar Bank, you have got an account over there, now you please go and get your money from there. Deepchand, who was cutting the hair of an elderly gentleman, was so startled means surprised, that his hand shook and he nicked his customer near the right ear. So he was so startled by that news that he just gave a nick to his customer near the right ear. Give a nick means to give a small cut. So he gave a small cut near his right ear, and the customer yelped with pain and distress. To yelp means to give a sudden short cry of pain. Yelping means to give a sudden short cry of pain. Now, if you see over here, Ruskin Bond, the author, has used visual imagery by giving us a statement that he was so startled that he nicked his customer, and you can imagine. So that is visual imagery. From the word was so startled up to right here, you can imagine that the barber is shaving. He's cutting his hair, and by mistake, because he's so startled, he just nicked him over here. Okay. So the customer yelped with pain and distress. Why? Pain because of the cut. He got a cut over here, so there was pain. Pain because of the cut, and distressed because of the awful news. So the news was so awful that he was really distressed, that my God. With one side of his neck still unshaven, he sped across the road to the general merchant store where there was a telephone. And he dialed Seth Govindram's number. Now he had the number of Seth Govindram. There were no mobiles at that time. So he had the number of Seth Govindram. So he went to that grocer store and he dialed from there, and the Seth was not at home, nobody to pick up the phone, so he was not at home. Where was he then? The Seth was holidaying in Kashmir. Oh, was that so? The elderly gentleman did not believe it. He hurried back to the barber's shop and told Deepchand, the bird has flown. Seth Govindram has left the town. Definitely it means a collapse. So he did not believe the news that he got from his house that he has gone to Kashmir, and he came back and he said the bird has, see, another rumor. Now there is another rumor added that the bird has flown. Okay, then he dashed out of the shop, making a beeline for his office and checkbook. Making a beeline means going directly. Straight he went and he got his checkbook. The news spread through the bazaar with the rapidity of a forest fire, means with the quickness of a forest fire. From the general merchant, it travelled to the shop, circulated amongst the customers, and then spread with them in various directions. So in all sorts of directions it went, and it spread that the bank is going bankrupt and the owner has run away. To the beetle seller, to the tailor, to the free vendor, to the jeweler, to the beggar sitting on the pavement. So it spread to everybody in the village that the bank is going bankrupt. Why? Because it cannot pay its employees, and because the owner, Seth Govindram, has run away. The bird has flown. Old Ganpat the beggar had a crooked leg. Had a crooked leg means he used to sit on that pavement over there. He had been squatting on the pavement for years, calling for alms. Calling for alms means calling for food, money, clothing. That is called calling for alms, okay, which you give to the poor. So alms is something which you give to the poor when they ask for food or money or clothing or whatever. and take him away. He had never been known to walk. So nobody knew that he could walk. He was lame. There was always a wheelbarrow. But now, on learning that the bank, someone would come in the evening. Someone would come with a barrow and take him away. So somebody would come and take him away with on a barrow. A barrow is a two-wheeled hand cart on which they would take him away. He had never been known to walk. But now, on learning that the bank was about to collapse, Ganpat astonished everybody. And by leaping to his feet and actually running at top speed in the direction of the bank, it soon became known that he had 1,000 rupees in his savings. So he had got 1,000 rupees. It became known that he had so much of money, and it also became known that he was not lame. He was just acting. Okay. So here also we have a visual imagery. You can imagine that on hearing the news, this beggar suddenly gets up and he starts running away. So Ruskin Bond has so beautifully woven all these small points, okay, which makes you visualize that. So it's an example of visual imagery. Men stood in groups at street corners discussing the situation. Again, another visual imagery. You can imagine that there are men who are standing all over the place in the corners of the streets, and they're discussing that now what will we do. The women are gossiping under the tamarind tree. So all this is visual imagery, okay? People Nagar seldom had a crisis, seldom or never had floods, earthquakes, or drought. And the imminent crash of the People Nagar Bank set everyone talking and speculating and rushing about in a frenzy. Now, imminent means likely to happen soon, immediate danger. Something which is likely to happen soon. So here it is, imminent crash of the People Nagar Bank. Imminent means likely to happen soon. Then speculating means to form an opinion without knowing all the facts. So people were standing near the street corners and everywhere, and they started forming an opinion without finding out what the actual facts were. Okay. So they did not know the real facts, and they were just talking about it. Then frenzy means uncontrolled, excited behavior. Uncontrolled, they are just beyond control, and they are very excited as to what is going to happen. Some boasted of their farsightedness, congratulating themselves on having already taken out their money or never having put any. So a few of them said that, oh, we are very smart. We never put any money in the bank. We never put, or we have taken out already everything. Others speculated on reasons for the crash. There were some people who were standing and talking, why would the bank crash? How come the bank has crashed? What is the reason for the crash of the bank? So all these speculations were going on. Okay. Then, where is it gone? Speculated on the reasons for the crash, putting it all down to the excesses indulged in by Seth Govindram. I keep losing where I'm reading, so I better put a mark. Indulged by Seth Govindram. The Sheth had fled the state, said one. He fled to the country, said another. He fled the country. Somebody said he fled the state. He fled the country, said another. He was hiding in People Nagar, said a third. He had hanged himself from a tamarind tree. My God, now see what people are talking. One said he ran away from the state, he ran away from the country. Then another said he was hiding in People Nagar itself. Somebody said, no, he's hanging from that tamarind tree, said a fourth. And he had been found in the morning by the sweeper boy. So the sweeper boy had found him hanging. Okay. By noon, the small bank had gone through all its ready cash, and the harassed manager was in a dilemma. So the harassed manager was in a dilemma. Dilemma is a difficult situation. He was so harassed, poor fellow, he didn't know what to do. Emergency funds could be obtained from another bank, but which was 30 miles away. So emergency funds he could get, but that other bank was 30 miles away. People Nagar was the only bank over here. Okay. He wasn't sure that he could persuade the crowd to wait until then, and there was no way of contacting Seth Govindram on his houseboat in Kashmir. People were turned back from the counters and told to return the following day. They did not like the sound of that. So people were told that you come back the next day and we'll give you all your money. So don't worry, we'll get it. The people did not like that, because as it is, they had this feeling that the bank had gone bankrupt. And now the people in the bank, the staff of the bank was telling them, you'll come back the next day, we'll give you all your money. That is the time you will get all your money. So they didn't like the sound of that. Okay. They did not like the sound of that. And so they gathered outside on the steps of the bank shouting, give us some money or we'll break in. Give us some money immediately, otherwise we are going to break into the bank. Fetch the safe. Where is the safe? We know he's hiding in the safe deposit locker. We know he's hiding in the safe deposit locker. Mischief makers who didn't have a paisa in the bank joined the crowd and aggravated the mood. So there were people who were mischief makers who did not have 1 rupee in the bank, but they joined all these people and they created a more ruckus and aggravated their mood. Okay. So, have you understood about this emergency fund? I need to explain to you. See, a bank has got a particular amount of fund with it, and depending on how much what is the normal average of the withdrawal. So, depending on that, they have a particular amount of cash with it, and once they exhaust all that cash, then they don't have any more cash, and they have to bring it from another bank. Okay, so that is called an emergency fund. So we come to the next point. The manager stood at the door trying to placate them. So the manager was standing at the door and telling them, please, placate means pacify. He was saying, please, we have money. It's not that we don't have money. We'll give you the money, but just give us some time. We have to call for the money and we'll give it to you. But the mob knows no reason. And once the mob cannot think, okay, especially with all these rumors roaming around. So he declared that the bank had plenty of money, but no immediate means of collecting it. Means the bank had money, but the bank did not have sufficient amount of means to collect that money. He urged them to go home and come back the next day. So he was telling them that please go home, you come back the next day, we'll give you the money. But the people refused to listen. We want it now, chanted some of the crowd. Now, now, now. And a brick hurtled through the air, crushed through the plate glass window of the People Nagar bank. So ultimately, physically also, the glass door of the People Nagar bank was broken because somebody threw a brick and they broke that bank. Okay. So in the literal sense also, the bank was broken. Nathu arrived next morning to sweep the steps of the bank. He saw the refuse and the broken glass and the stones cluttering on the steps. So on the steps, when he was a sweeper, so he saw on the steps that there was all this refuse, there was glass fallen, there were a number of stones fallen, and he saw all that. Raising his hands in a gesture of horror and disgust, he cried, "Hooligans, son of donkeys! As though it isn't bad enough to be paid late, it seems my work has to be also increased." He smote the steps with his broom, scattering the refuse. To smote something means to hit hard. So he hit hard something. जोर से he banged his broom on the step. धड़ाम धड़ाम धड़ाम. एक तो मेरा पैसा नहीं दिया, ऊपर से मुझे ज़्यादा काम करना पड़ रहा है. What is all this nonsense? He is extremely angry. Hooligans means a violent. A hooligan is a violent, write it down. A hooligan is a violent person who causes damage in public places. A hooligan is a violent person who causes damage in public places. Okay. So, good morning, Nathu, said the washerman's son, getting down from his bicycle. Are you ready to take up a new job from the first of the next month? So, he is very happy that I found a job for my friend. You'll have to, I suppose, now that the bank is going out of business. He's saying anyway you'll have to take up a job because the bank is going out of business. So he has also heard about the rumor that the bank is bankrupt. How's that? Said Nathu. Haven't you heard? Well, you'd better wait here until half the population of People Nagar arrives to claim their money. Everybody is going to come to claim their money. Then you'll know what has happened to People Nagar Bank. Okay, and he waved cheerfully. So he waved to the to the sweeper. I'm feeling a little hot. So he waved to the sweeper and he went off. Okay. He did not have a bank account. Who? The washerman's son had no bank account. And he sped away on his cycle. Nathu went back to sweeping the steps, muttering to himself. To mutter to yourself means to talk in a low tone to yourself, like as if you're muttering. If your parents scold you or if your teachers scold you, then you're just muttering to yourself, क्या समझते हैं अपने आप को, पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं लोग. Okay, so that is muttering. So he was muttering to himself. When he had finished his work, he sat down on the highest step to await the arrival of the manager. He was determined to get his pay. He said, nothing doing, I want my salary today and today. That's it. Who would have thought the bank would collapse? He said to himself, and he looked thoughtfully into a distance. I wonder how it could have happened. So now this Nathu, who is responsible for the breaking of the bank, he is the boy who broke the bank. He is thinking, he is looking into a distance and he is pondering, who could have thought that the bank could break? Who could be responsible for this? I wonder how it could have happened. So we see over here that how this entire bank has become bankrupt because of the spreading of one single rumor. It is this rumor which has caused the entire bank to go bankrupt. Okay, so this rumor is by word of mouth. Nowadays, if you see in our context, in the age in which we are living, in the age of social media, it is one post. That post which you forward without realizing whether it is authentic or not. That post which you forward could become something of grave concern, and it could result in a monumental disaster. And that disaster could be so great that it would really become something, it would become a headache for the authorities to get rid of that disaster. Okay, so Ruskin Bond has ended on that note. It's a didactic story, and it has given us this beautiful message that before we spread rumors, before we forward posts, we need to think. Before we gossip, we need to think. Okay. So with that, we come to an end of the explanation of this story. Now let's discuss the title. Do you think that this title is appropriate or not? The title is The Boy Who Broke the Bank. Now, I think the title is very appropriate because everything has begun with with a sweeper boy, Nathu, and he has just made a comment that I have not received my salary. And it is his statement which goes further and it destroys everything. It snowballs into a rumor and then it destroys everything and the bank goes broke. So I have got a few points which you can take down while I'm explaining to you. So it begins with Nathu the sweeper boy is discontented because he has not received his salary even though it is the 20th of the month. Then the entire story revolves around this one casual remark which was made by Nathu in his frustration. And it is his frustration which ultimately leads to the bank's downfall. Okay, his innocuous comment, innocuous means his irrelevant comment and not acceptable comment, triggers a series of events which spiral out of control. So nobody can control those, highlighting the human tragedy, the human tendency to exaggerate. So his one small comment, it highlights how human tendency, how we have a tendency in humans to exaggerate things to such an extent that it can lead to a disaster. Okay, now there's another thing that I want to tell you all, that broke is the past tense of the word break. Okay, so when you say that, oh, he broke the vase. Okay, so here it is like a literal breaking. So here there is also Ruskin Bond has also very cleverly interwoven this past tense of break in the last paragraph, where we just saw that somebody picked up a brick and broke the glass. So even that broke is there. So the title is very apt. And I think Ruskin Bond has masterfully, with a master stroke, he has explained to us even the past tense of the word break. So actually the bank has been broke. And also when you say that, oh, he is broke, means he has no money. So here the bank has been broke. The bank is broke. The bank has no money. The bank has gone bankrupt. So you can use this word in both the ways. I think Ruskin Bond has done a beautiful job and the title is very, very apt. It's absolutely justified. Okay. So you can write that broke is the past tense of the word break into pieces, which he did metaphorically as he had no cash left in, as the bank has no cash left in hand, and also literally where the bank's glass has been broken. So the title is very apt. Also, when you say that I am breaking into something, like you say I am breaking into a conversation. Okay, so you break into a conversation, or thieves break into a bank. Here we realize that Nathu's statement of simple statement, he has broken into the bank. So he has broken into it, just like a thief breaking into the bank. Okay, so again the word, the title, the boy who broke the bank is absolutely justified in every single way, in whatever way you want to see it. It is a masterpiece of English literature where you say the boy who broke the bank, with the word broke having so many connotations. So I think Ruskin Bond has done a fantastic job. It's a beautiful job. It's a brilliantly crafted story that explores the power of words and the power of the consequences of those particular words. So it's a skillful play on the word break. Okay, so the title is justified. Then the style, of course, it's a didactic didactic story. It is in third person. The narrator does not participate in the story anyway, so it is third person. It is an ironical story because Ganpat suddenly gets up and decides to run away. So that is the irony of the whole situation. And the biggest irony is that the boy who broke the bank, he does not know that he is a person who is responsible for the bank going bankrupt. So he does not know that. And the language used is very simple. It's colloquial language where he has used words like pressed. Pressed means ironed. It's a colloquial word that the clothes are pressed. Then the word aya. Aya means the lady who is looking after the children. So by using colloquial language, that is another style of Ruskin Bond. So in this style, we have all the points which I've given you, and I hope you have been able to pick up on those points. And please remember, it's didactic because it gives us a message, and that message is very loud and clear. There is no subtleness in the message. It is a clear, loud message for everyone to understand that you should not give in to rumors. Okay, so have you got the style written down? I hope you have got the style. Third person narrator, the narrator does not participate in the style. It is quick paced and humorous. It is ironical. We have got examples of irony. Please give both. And then about the language, that the language is simple and colloquial. So with that, I think I finished discussing about the title and about the style of the story. Okay. And setting, of course, I have already given it to you in my earlier module, the module before this. Now, we come to the themes. The themes are rumor mongering. You should stay away from rumor mongering and the devastating effect. That is the first theme that he has discussed. Then there is another theme which tells us about the exploitation of the underpaid and unpaid boys. It highlights the struggles of the working class and the desperation which is caused because of delayed payments. When you don't pay somebody on time, what desperation can happen? An entire bank went broke because of the desperation of a middle class person not being paid on time. So it highlights all this. And so we have done the themes, we have done the setting, we have done the title, and we have also done the style. Okay, so I hope you got the themes. There are two themes, rumor mongering and exploitation. You should have both the themes with you. So the next topic that we are going to discuss is about so now let's come to the critical appreciation. Take a note on the critical appreciation, then we can discuss it. Okay. So we get the critical appreciation. Let's start. The Boy Who Broke the Bank by Ruskin Bond is a captivating and a thought-provoking short story that explores the power of words and the danger of misinformation. Why is it captivating? Because we want to know what is going to happen in the end. So it's a captivating story. We don't want to leave it midway. Okay. So and it's thought provoking. What is a thought that it provokes in our minds? That one small misinformation or one small information that is not checked properly, how it can snowball into something which can cause a monumental disaster. The monumental disaster over here is that the bank itself went bankrupt. Okay, so that can happen. Ruskin Bond has masterfully woven an engaging narrative that serves as a cautionary tale as well as offers a glimpse into the social fabric of a small town in India. So Ruskin Bond, when he has given us this story, he has interwoven the ethos of a small town of India very well by using colloquial language like words such as pressed and aya, and he has used those words to make us feel as if we are present in that particular town. Okay, to give it so you get the social fabric of a small town in India. His story is a didactic one of how a bank saw its downfall due to a rumor. Now, what do you mean by a didactic story? A didactic story or a poem is one which wants to convey a message, which wants to give you a moral, which is in fact dictating to you that you should be doing this or you should not be doing this. There is no ambiguity. So here it is very clear that Ruskin Bond is giving us the message that don't spread rumors, do not gossip. This is what he is telling us very clearly. Therefore we call it didactic. Okay. So you can write over there, didactic means conveying a message. If you don't know what is a didactic, you write over that it conveys a message. And what is a message that is being conveyed over here? Do not gossip, do not spread rumors. Okay. The reader should understand that they should stay away from gossiping or spreading rumors. The piece of news that a sweeper has not been paid gets convoluted by repeated retelling to the bank not paying its employees. So what happens is there is one small piece of news which says that the sweeper has not been paid his salary. The sweeper tells it to the washerman's son. The washerman's son tells it to Mrs. Srivastav. Mrs. Srivastav tells it to her friend Mrs. Bhushan. So it keeps on retelling of that one fact. And what happens ultimately when Mrs. Srivastav is talking to Mrs. Bhushan, she is telling her that the bank has gone bankrupt, it is not paying any of its employees, and the bank doesn't know what to do. Okay. So it has convoluted. Then somebody went and contacted the Seth, the owner of the bank. He was not available because he was holidaying in Kashmir, so he was not there. So even more. So everybody comes, give us some money, give us some money, give us some money. Now the bank has got a fixed amount of money depending on the average withdrawals per day. The bank will keep that much amount with them, a little here and there, more or less. But you cannot suddenly have everybody, all your account holders coming and saying give us some money, which is not going to be possible for any bank. So it's not that the bank does not have money. The bank has money, but it has to bring it from somewhere. Okay, so then ultimately the bank has gone bankrupt because of this snowballing of that one little rumor. Finally the bank being bankrupt. Ruskin Bond also delves into the social dynamics of a small community that exists in a closely knit society. Why is it closely knit? Because it's a small town and everybody knows everyone. So everybody partakes in everybody's sorrows and everybody's joys, and news spreads, good ones, bad ones, everything spreads very fast. Like how you have on TV, breaking news. They just spread everything quickly without actually seeing the authenticity. They just start spreading. That is why when you are watching news also, you should watch a news channel which is authentic, which you can be guaranteed that they will not give you the wrong news. You must choose. The story provides an insightful look at the diverse cast of characters, from gossiping housewives to the opportunistic mischief makers. Why gossiping housewives? Because Srivastav and Bhushan, these two are the gossiping women. So they first gossip about the weather, then they gossip about then they talk about the cloth. After talking about the weather, they talk about the cloth and the material and how is it and everything. And then because they have nothing else left to do, so Mrs. Srivastav said, अरे मैं क्यों रह जाऊँ, मुझे भी कुछ बोलना है, तो क्या बोलूँ मैं? तो अच्छा ठीक है, मैं बताती हूँ. The sweeper boy, I have been told that the bank is not paying its employees, the bank has no money, the bank has gone bankrupt. So that is the way the gossip started. So he has done that. Each character is portrayed with a touch of humor and authenticity. We feel like laughing and we realize that how realistic the characters are. This is of particular importance today in the world of social media and fast news, where one post can do great harm. Through vivid descriptions, memorable characters, and an engaging plot, Ruskin Bond has offered a cautionary tale that is relevant and timeless. It is a timeless tale because it is relevant even today at any time. It may be relevant even after 10 years. Do not spread rumors and do not gossip. That is always going to be a relevant topic, and that is exactly what Ruskin Bond is trying to teach us when he is telling us do not spread rumors, do not give in to gossiping. Okay, so with that and with critically appreciating this story written by Ruskin Bond, The Boy Who Broke the Bank, I come to an end of this module. And children, I want you all to practice your writing. You all are still in standard 9. You need to learn to write. The more you write, the better it will be for you. Like I always tell you, writing is one of the best things that you can do so that you are able to think and put your thoughts down quickly within the limited amount of time. So here's Hemangi wishing you all a goodbye and all the best for all your coming exams.